Why is FreeBSD 14.4 out if version 15 exists? The reason is simple. It is mainly due to the essential support for 32-bit. You will test it. New Ventoy versions allow using FreeBSD boot the ISO and wait for the system installer to load for you now. Start the installer by selecting Install. Then choose your keyboard layout. In this case, select Latin American layout now. Type the host name to identify your machine. Select the components you want. I suggest leaving the kernel DBG as the default. Use AutoUFS on disk -0 and select entire disk to erase all and use the whole disk. Confirm that you want to delete the data. Since it is 32-bit, it is better to select MBR. Check that the selected disk is correct, and finally you finish the process. Confirm with commit to write the changes. Then wait for partitions to be written and extraction of the entire kernel soon. Now type and confirm the password for root. Then you must configure the network interface of your machine, for example re0. Select that you'll use IPv4 and use DHCP to configure the network. You have to mark that you will not use IPv6 at this time. Accept the network resolver, then indicate you want to use UTC and select your geographic region to set your local time zone. Then select your country and accept the CST abbreviation. Finally, check if the system date and time are correct at this point. Then the system asks to choose the boot services. Leave defaults. Modify the security options that you personally prefer now. Now, the option to allow the use of firmware is selected. If you want to use it, leave it as is and wait for packages to install. Select the Yes option to add a user. Type the username and the name. To leave default value, just press the Enter key now. Default UED, default login group. When inviting to other groups, I suggest adding groups wheel, video operator, and network. Login class, shell, directory, and permissions. Leave everything as default for password use. Mark that you require login. Empty password, no. Random, no. Enter the password and confirm it. Default lockout and you will see the summary of selection. Accept and it will ask to add another user. To add more users, use the same options. In this case, mark no to continue now. This is the time to modify the configuration. If you are sure, press OK. Then it asks if you want to return to the shell now. Press no. Then it informs you that the installation was completed successfully. Press reboot to restart the computer normally. The system will start for the first time. Remember that the FreeBSD installer only goes as far as leaving the terminal ready. Enter the root password and the system will be ready for commands. The first thing you should always do is the update now. Sudo is not configured. Install the sudo package. When finished, run vsudo and you will enter an editor with a config file. Find the line that says will all and uncomment it. Put a colon, then the letter W to write and the letter Q to exit the file. Switch to the created user with the su command. Now install i3wapem. But the first step is to install the large Xorg package. Also add the package for your video card, like XF86 Video Intel. You can also select AMD or NVIDIA, depending on your hardware. Though you already did it, make sure your user is associated with video. Use sudo pwgroupmodvideo muser command now. Now you must enable the mouse and debus. Start by enabling mouse enable with the sudo sysrc command indicating that yes is it. Then install the debus package. When finished, enable debus with sysrc and start the service with the sudo service debus start. Now install the i3 status, i3 log and dmenu packages. Use the command sudo pkg install and list the packages. Wait a bit. Continue installing more packages related to Terminal, Browser, and Explorer. Always use the pkg install command for each one. Finally, to test the system, install the fastfetch and sysbench packages to perform the complete evaluation of the system. If you like to use the EE editor, you can use it. I like Nano more, so install the necessary package to use it comfortably. Once installed, run Nano with the user location and create the xinitarg file. Inside must be exec i3. Then you save and exit. Type the startx command. If the scaling is fine for you, leave it. But if you see the font too small, it can be changed now. Edit the xresources file in your user folder with Nano. Inside, you must write xftdpi:140 or whatever you want now. Save and exit. Now run startx again, and you will see that the scaling provides good visibility of the entire font size now. Press Enter to automatically configure i3 and select the modifier, either Win or Alt key. Select it and press the Enter key. By pressing Mod Enter, you should enter the terminal, but it opens Xterm. If you want the one you want, edit your config file. Find the line bindsim mod plus return and modify it to run your preferred terminal. Add bindsim with F to open Firefox now. Save and exit. Then exit i3 and enter again for the changes to take effect. You can also press Mod Shift R on your keyboard. Run fastfetch to see system info. You will get the kernel version, memory, and package size. Everything is looking excellent. Use commands to contrast the information, which you will see is correct. Check the boot time, which turns out to be excellent. As you will notice, fastfetch shows an incorrect amount of memory due to 32 bits. Run top and you will see the real amount. Run sysbench, start with the CPU with one thread to see the system processing. You will get a result that is clearly low now. Now test the CPU, but with 5 threads to test the processing capacity. You will also get a result that is quite low for it. Test the threads with sysbench to evaluate the system concurrency management. In this case, you get a very excellent result. Now test the mutexes to evaluate the efficiency of mutual exclusion locks. Again, you get a rather low result on this test. Then run a memory read test to evaluate the efficiency of accessing data. You will get a result that is very low for this. Run a memory write test to evaluate the efficiency of saving data. Again, you will notice that the result is very low for it. Now, prepare the files needed to perform the disk input and output test with sysbench, using a total of 1 GB today. Run the random read and write test to evaluate the disk performance. You will see that you get both results very low for now. Then run the top command to check memory consumed by a Firefox window. Then open a tab with a current video on the web. Open a third and fourth tab, seeing the increase in memory consumption. The average consumption per tab is quite low for now. Close top. Another test you can perform is on the graphics card though, because of 32 bits do not expect an optimal result. Run glmark2 to measure Intel graphics performance using several OpenGL rendering tests. The result was quite low for this. Clean and close everything. You have finished the FreeBSD 14.4 tests. Now you see the summary of the results from the tests. In conclusion, FreeBSD 14.4 exists because there are still computers needing 32-bit support. It is a very light system now. However, the memory, disk, and processor limits due to 32 bits are directly reflected in the general performance of system. For old computers, it is a necessity. But for new equipment, I suggest version 15, which is more efficient and high performance. That's all for this video. If you liked it, subscribe, leave a like and activate notifications. See you in the next big video.